This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 3rd day of March in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Police Corporal Lawrence Carmichael appeared in court this morning on the heavy police guard and was charged for causing the death of mechanic Christopher Bangwandat and high school student Sharita Prasad. Carmichael is accused of driving a Guyana police force vehicle in a dangerous manner during a high-speed chase of the car being driven by the mechanic, causing an accident that claimed the lives of the mechanic and his teenage passenger. In court today, the accused was not allowed to enter a plea to the indictable charge. After the details of the charge were read to him, the magistrate granted the accused bail in the sum of $1.5 million. He was represented by attorneys Dexter Todd, Dexter Smart, and Devon Cox. Outside of the magistrate's court, relatives of the two dead youths gathered in protest and demanded justice. They said their children would have been alive today had they not been chased by the police in a dangerous manner.
So what happened to my son and these people's daughter? They're not human beings. They're not human beings. Then they said the police report, and the police report is lying that my son car hit the police and knocked the police car, and then the police car hit into the truck. But the police hit them from the back. If they want to catch them, they could have catch them in different ways. They could have drive slowly behind them and see when they stop. When the bandit them come, they can't run back at them.
The accident occurred in the vicinity of the Mahaica Bridge on the 2nd of February. During its initial report on the accident, the police claimed that the car, which was being driven by the 21-year-old mechanic Christopher Bangwandat, had avoided a police roadblock and was pursued by a police patrol vehicle. During the chase, which was captured on surveillance video in the area, the two vehicles could be seen driving at a fast rate. As the car approached the Mahaica Bridge, eyewitnesses said the police vehicle increased its speed and might have jammed the back of the car, sending it into the path of a truck in the opposite lane. The police vehicle also slammed into the truck. The 21-year-old mechanic and his 16-year-old girlfriend both died on the spot. There were other persons in at least one other vehicle who were hospitalized with serious injuries as a result of the multi-vehicular smash-up. The Guyana Police Force launched a full investigation, and the findings were submitted to the Director of Public Prosecutions for advice. Attorney-at-law Dexter Todd, who is representing the policeman in the matter, said that the issue should have been dealt with at the Commission of Inquiry level.
And I'm very surprised that they are not taking other steps to deal with this situation, which can be better rectified. I thank you.
How many?
Which is a COI. Because you're talking about policies and you're talking about operations of the force. How are they going to operate these powers that they have? Because pursue is lawful. There's nothing unlawful about a pursue.
Since offering the advice to charge a policeman with causing death by dangerous driving, the Director of Public Prosecutions has asked for additional investigations to be done, since other charges could be filed in the matter. More news coming up in a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
People may forget the present you bought for them, but they'll never forget your scent. Find your signature fragrance at Elite Fragrances and Trade-In, located at 123 Region Road Border between Ornock Street and Shiv Chandapal Drive. Call 619-5151 or 227-1255. Get a designer fragrance for yourself or loved one that they will never forget.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
CARICOM leaders will travel to Guyana in May for a special investment conference which will examine ways to cut the region's high food import bill. The CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, which recently wrapped up in Belize, focused heavily on the agriculture and trade sectors within the Caribbean region, with the leaders locked in discussions on how they can reduce the region's annual $5 billion food import bill. The issue of the high food import bill has been plaguing the region for decades, but Caribbean leaders believe the resources exist within the region for intra-regional trade to be intensified, which will ultimately see the reduction of the food bill. President Irfan Ali, who holds the agriculture portfolio within CARICOM, announced a special concessional financing package geared at helping to transform agriculture in the region. The $100 million financing will be done through the CARICOM Sustainability Agriculture Facility, with Republic Bank providing the funds. Following that announcement by the President, Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Mottley told the press conference that food and water are becoming the new oil in the region, and not only will there be a push to reduce the food bill, but to also drive the agriculture sector in the region.
We recognize that this is going to require a number of things happening at the same time. We're happy that we've gotten this far. The next step is on May 19th, an investment conference in Georgetown, Guyana, May 19th to the 21st, where we seek to bring together both the public and private sector in order to determine what the investment opportunities are.
Prime Minister Motley said Guyana has been leading the charge in agriculture, and the region must also move with that haste to get as close as possible to self-sufficiency.
A lot of these products that we're talking about, crops that we're talking about, are 6-week and 12-week crops. So it is not beyond the capacity of the region to urgently deal with the production of some of the things that we're importing, but it requires political will.
But even as the region looks to reduce its import bill for food and trade among its member states, there are still trade barriers which can affect CARICOM plans. New CARICOM Chair, Belizean Prime Minister Johnny Baceno, has assured that those issues will be addressed. Let's tell you now that CARICOM leaders have agreed to review the issue of local content policies being developed in CARICOM states, and whether those policies are in contravention of provisions in the CARICOM Single Market and Economy Treaty. Guyana recently passed and signed local content legislation into law for the oil and gas sector. The move raised concern among members of the CARICOM private sector organization. A leaked memo from the organization highlighted concerns that the law is in contravention of regional trade rules. At a press conference last evening at the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Belize, Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Mottley said a committee will be examining the issue.
Within the context of the discussions on the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, we placed before heads, and heads accepted, that there is need for us to review the issue of local content, and there's an open-ended committee of member states that will start to work very shortly, recognizing that in new areas of economic activity, what we call sunrise industries, there may well be, and I certainly support, that there is a case for some level of local content, and the issue will be what should that percentage of local content be, and what is the timeline that it should be valid for. Because if you're giving it to a sunrise industry, then they don't need it 30 years from now or 20 years from now.
Prime Minister Motley said the issue will be discussed with a view of putting recommendations forward to the community. She also said those discussions will be important.
We're going to do the discussions among ourselves with a view towards recommending to the full Conference of Heads what the appropriate framework should be, such that no one will be held in breach for wanting to do that which is most natural. That if we accept that we share the burden in hard times, then we must share the bounty in good times too. And that is all that we understand Guyana and other countries that want to introduce local content in emerging industries are seeking to do.
When the government of Guyana took the local content legislation to the National Assembly for debate and passage, the opposition, while supporting the legislation, raised concern about whether some sections of the legislation went against the CARICOM Treaty of Chaguaramas, which provides for the free movement of goods, labor capital, and the rights of establishment in the CARICOM single market. The government of Guyana assured that there were no contraventions. Police investigators are probing the death of a 26-year-old dental surgeon whose lifeless body was found at her Kuru home with a wire around her neck. The body of Danwanti Ramsarup was discovered by the husband, who has since been taken into custody for questioning. It was the husband who alerted the police to his wife's death. He reportedly told investigators that he arrived at home at around 10 p.m. on Tuesday and made the discovery. The husband claimed that earlier the same evening, the wife threatened to take her own life during a phone conversation between the two. The man told the police that they had a disagreement earlier the same day. A post-mortem examination revealed that the woman died of asphyxiation. However, it was inconclusive on whether the injuries might have been self-inflicted or not. Investigators intend to keep the husband in custody as the probe continues. A 58-year-old porter from the Pomeroon area lost his life yesterday morning when the motor tractor and trailer that he was riding on toppled and pinned him. A police statement said the accident occurred at around 7:30 on Wednesday morning along the Amper Trail on the east bank of Essequibo. The tractor and trailer were being driven by a 24-year-old Puerto Rican man. At the time of the accident, the trailer was loaded with Wallaby posts. The porter was sitting on top of the stacked posts. The police report said the trailer dropped into a hole and its weight sent it toppling over. The porter got pinned onto the trailer with a post and had to be pulled from under that wreckage. He was taken to the Western Mararo Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. The police investigation has also revealed that the tractor was unregistered. The probe continues as the driver has been taken into custody.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight in Honduras, lawmakers there have repealed legislation that critics dubbed the Official Secrets Law for classifying public documents of national security and defense, marking one of the first efforts under a new leftist administration to curb corruption. President João Castro, who took office in January, had made campaign vows to repeal the law, along with others that she said prevent government officials from being investigated and prosecuted for graft. The so-called Secrets Law took effect in 2014 under former President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was arrested in February after a U.S. extradition request on drug trafficking and weapons charges was issued. Honduras Congress voted on Tuesday evening to repeal the law, which proponents during Hernandez's administration had said was needed to avoid jeopardizing police investigations against drug cartels and gangs by keeping certain documents and contracts from public view. Caribbean tourism stakeholders are abuzz at the announcement by the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association that its Bedrock Caribbean Travel Marketplace, which brings together buyers and sellers of the region's tourism products, will be hosted by Puerto Rico between the 3rd and 5th of October this year. Barbados Today reports that the officials have announced that the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a significant pent-up desire for fellowship with regional colleagues and business connections from North America, Latin America, Europe, Asia, and elsewhere. One official said over the past 2 years there have been numerous changes across the destinations, which have added new products and services, and many hotels and attractions have undergone major renovations, so this will be the time to find out in great detail all that the Caribbean now has to offer. Making the announcement on Monday, the official saluted the team at Discover Puerto Rico for taking the bold step to partner with the CHTA this year and deliver what is being considered the most diverse and exciting and meaningful Caribbean travel marketplace that will set the stage for reimagining the Caribbean tourism product. And finally tonight, international news. Russian and Ukrainian negotiators met today, and Ukraine said it would call for a ceasefire and humanitarian corridors to evacuate its besieged citizens, as the war entered its second week with Ukrainian cities surrounded and under bombardment. Hundreds of Russian soldiers and Ukrainian civilians have been killed since President Vladimir Putin of Russia sent his troops over the border on the 24th of February. Russia itself has been plunged into isolation, never before experienced by an economy of such size. The United Nations said more than 1 million refugees had fled in just 7 days, one of the fastest exoduses in memory. Ukrainian negotiators and presidential advisors tweeted a picture of the delegation at a conference table in an undisclosed location. The Ukrainians wore battle fatigues and winter jackets. The Russians wore suits and ties. Neither side has suggested it was expecting any breakthroughs after the first round of talks, held in Belarus on Monday, led to no progress. Despite an initial battle plan that Western countries said was aimed at swiftly toppling the Kyiv government, it describes as dangerous nationalists who threaten its security, Russia has captured only one Ukrainian city so far. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.